1, 2, 3, yeah! This is Amari Purple Talk. Yes. Welcome to episode 99 of Amari Purple Talk, a podcast where I share my thoughts on the Prince musical singularity. I'm Richard Cole, Imaginationist, comic book myth builder, and the Vic Sage of Funk. Thank you once again for tuning in. Please leave your comments in the comments section below, and please download on your favorite podcast platform. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And please continue to send your questions or topic suggestions for Amari Purple Talk. And how you can do that is by clicking the link in the show notes below, either the website link for Amari Communications or by following me on Twitter at RichardCole_now using the hashtag Amari Purple Talk. And your topic or question might just be read in a future episode. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started with the show. And I want to start the show by once again giving my thanks to Edgar Cruz, to DJ UMB, the moderators of the Prince Twitter thread. This was my, I think, fourth time being a contributor to the Prince Twitter thread. This one has to be my favorite Prince Twitter thread. We did the album for Jill Jones's One and Only Paisley Park album back in 1987. And again, that was my absolute favorite of all the Twitter threads. Not to say the other ones weren't great. They absolutely were, and it's always an honor to be a part of them. But this is my favorite. So thanks to Jill Jones, not only for allowing us to do that, also for her participation in it. By all means, check out the Prince Twitter thread where we discuss each and every track from the album. She caps it off with VIP, kind of giving her reflections and thoughts, filling in some blanks. I call it the DVD commentary bonus features portion of that thread. So I can say my eternal thanks to everyone involved in the Twitter thread. So check them out. Check all of the contributors, all the Purple Avengers. So look forward to rocking the next one or whichever one for the coming year. So again, check out the Prince Twitter thread. That's hashtag Prince Twitter thread. And just check out all of the writers that contributed to each individual track. Also, a huge thanks to all of you in the Prince musical singularity. Last week, we reached a milestone of 10,000 unique downloads. This program is brought to you by the Libsyn Network. So thanks to them and their distribution channels, getting all of you, out on your favorite podcast platform, as well as your ability to like and subscribe on YouTube. So, but none of that would be possible if it wasn't for each and every one of you. And that's not only the 10,000 unique downloads, that is for the hundreds to sometimes even thousands of listeners that just tune in and listen each and every week. So hopefully we'll keep this ball rolling. I will discuss season 3 at the end of the show, but thanks to all of you for tuning in. And speaking of the Libsyn Network, I've received a tweet from a listener that I guess listens exclusively on Spotify. And he mentioned that there has not been a new episode of Amari Purple Talk since March. I also noticed as well, just on my Apple podcast, that I haven't had an episode update since episode 82 or something like that. So, been kind of looking into it. Hopefully, I've made some corrections this week. But if you are having problems, or if you know someone that's been having problems, if they're listening on a different platform than what you're listening to, of course, let them know, or direct them to YouTube. Each and every episode since episode 6 is on my Amari Communications channel on YouTube. So be sure to look there as I continue to go deeper into the problem and hopefully get it corrected. Hopefully by episode 100, but definitely in time for season 3. So again, apologies for any inconveniences, and thanks to bringing that to my attention as well. And with that out of the way, I want to move on to some quick thoughts about what's been going on recently with the Prince estate. Yeah, we'll get into that before we get into the main topic of the Welcome to America review. But a week ago, or a week and a half ago, there's been breaking news to where another member of Prince's family has sold their share of the Prince estate to the company called Primary Wave. So it's sort of a power play. So they basically own practically a quarter, I would say, maybe a quarter, a little over a quarter of the Prince estate. And I did an episode a long time ago when Taika first sold a portion. It's a huge portion. She only retains, I think, barely 8% or 2% of interest in her share. But I did an episode about that a long time ago. And I researched the company Primary Wave. They're part publishing company, they're part branding agency, public relations, marketing, that type of thing. And I know when she did it, I see the plight of the family. They're not making any money. As much as we support just about every single thing the Prince estate has released, it's been with the hopes that each dollar that we contribute to supporting the Prince estate, that money goes to alleviating a huge tax debt. And once that's eliminated, that the family can start really reaping the benefits of, these royalties and book deals and movie deals and, deals with Sony and, before that Warner Brothers, or Warner Brothers as far as international distribution and that type of thing. But you've had where Alfred's family, or Alfred before he passed away, signed away his rights. And now you have Omar that has signed away his share as well. And I guess my thought on it would be, again, none of us are in that position, to that magnitude. We've all had family pass away at some point in our lives. And, there's little or nothing that's really left, not to the magnitude of, what the Prince estate has to deal with, as far as I know. Now some you may have to deal with that, or you have systems in place, estate planning, things of that nature. But it's not, to me, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. And we can easily play, armchair quarterback and say, oh, I would never do this, I would never do that. Now, keep in mind, the other siblings are holding very tightly to their shares of the estate, and they are fighting diligently to protect their interest and fighting to receive the rewards. And again, like I said, it's easy to play armchair quarterback, and it's like, oh, Prince would have done this if he left a will, he would have done this and done that. And, I would say, as far as this being 2021, and as we're inching towards 2022, there's a lot of people saying that, and yet and still, I'm sure a lot of you got that copy of Welcome to America, didn't you? So, yeah, I mean, it's not an easy road. And you're making decisions, or there are things in place that you are now in the position to make decisions based on millions of dollars at this stage, where I don't think that, I'd say maybe a couple of family members may have some experience as far as the music industry and how it works, but they didn't have to make decisions the way Prince had to make decisions, good, bad, or indifferent. So, they've had to, they're still, whatever, having to do their day jobs, or maybe certain decisions, or curating certain things. They're no longer in the position to hold a, say, 9-to-5 job or anything like that. And again, we're playing armchair quarterback. It's easy to sit and say, oh, well, why didn't you? Why didn't you? You sit here and deal with these banks, and you deal with these lawyers, and see how easy it is to say, I want my piece of the pie, or whatever, or you see these bankers and lawyers that you're supposed to trust and make these decisions for you to ensure you get your money, and they're getting paid and you're not getting a check. It's, to coin a phrase from a, podcaster that I respect, it's not friend business, it's show business. It's the music business. So, it's hard to say. And yeah, I mean, from my point of view, yeah, if you're selling out for however many millions, because it's like, well, I'll just cash in now, hey, do it. If it's the most logical thing, if you don't know where your next meal is coming from, if you have bills that are mounting because you're making all these decisions, or you're whatever I don't know what their situation is, other than reports that some are barely making it, and here it is 2021, and you're still not getting a check. You're watching Sign of the Times Super Deluxe sell. You're watching this Welcome to America sell. You're watching the Beautiful One sell. You're seeing all this merchandise selling, and documentary deals being put together, and Netflix shelling out all this money to put together a documentary, and you're not seeing a penny from that. That is a problem. And kudos to the family members that are fighting, because from their point of view, that's the big picture. But I can also understand the big picture of the other side as well. Because it's a thing to where, if, hey, you know what? maybe I'm not equipped to make, record deal decisions, and what do these contracts mean? And depending on this lawyer to figure it out, or this lawyer's constantly, calling you, or you're constantly trying to get in touch with the attorney. You're trying to constantly get in touch with the bank. And again, like I said, you don't know where your next meal's coming from. Then do what you have to do. Make your money. And, hopefully, you take, if it's, you're getting 25 grand, when we know 10, 20, 30 years from now, this estate's going to be worth 500 million, or it could be worth $1 billion in 10 to 20 years. But, money isn't the be all and end all to having a happy life or enjoying your best life. So with that said, yeah, if you're going to cash in your chips, and it's kind of short money, but I mean, hey, on that level, if $1 million is short money, hell, I'll take it. I can make that work. But whatever, do that. Take care of your family. Make sure they're living well. Take care, again, estate plan and financially plan, whatever you got to do. Get into investing, and maybe that 25 million, you can parlay it into your own 100 and 200 and 300 million. Who knows? At the end of the day, that is their individual decision to make. And hopefully, yeah, like I said, hopefully that money that the family members that have sold out to Primary Wave has done, that they can parlay it into, again, living their best life. And may it be a long and fruitful, happy existence for them, and that there's something left for, their heirs to benefit from and turn into opportunities and create wealth. And that's the bottom line. When you're playing this type of a game, it's about building wealth. And sometimes, like I said, I see both sides of the coin. So I don't know. We'll be watching this with great interest on this show. We'll continue to support Prince and, his estate. And, as long as there is a family member that's there to call the plays or be in the boardroom when decisions are made, yeah, I'll continue to support. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I know you've heard a lot of other programs that have gone more in depth and probably have gone more into detail. I kind of just wanted to keep a positive spin on things. So, but let me know what you think based on what you've already read, what you've already heard. Is it a good idea? Is it a good move or bad move? Will it be in good hands, or will better decisions be made with, say, the people at Primary Wave calling the shots? Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And with that out of the way, it is time for the big main topic. Welcome to America. It is out. It is in my hands. It arrived day of release. Amazon's back on its game. Also, too, day after, I received from the Prince estate, I pre-ordered the Welcome to America 45 single. That arrived, and it's great. Of course, I haven't opened the 45 yet to listen to it, but we're here to talk about the Welcome to America album. And I'm going to start with just a few quick thoughts, or some initial thoughts on the album itself. I love this album. My love for it increased after listening to it on some Motorola earbuds. And my excitement and enjoyment of this album also increased while listening to it in the car. Uh, kind of day of release, I listened to it on, um, just some regular earbuds, just from my phone. And yeah, I mean, I was excited to, really excited to hear this album, what it was going to sound like in its entirety. I only listened to the first episode of the Estates podcast that they have for every new Prince release now. Um, this one was different. This was different than Sign of the Times 1999, where, just our excitement for a lot of these vault tracks, because a lot of them we've had, in varying condition over the years. We would get little snippets and be like, yeah, that's exciting. For me, the 60 Minutes piece was just enough to where they kind of leaked a couple of snippets of tracks. And I was excited. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be something. And this is the first album. This isn't like Dream Factory or Camille or the Black Album. This is one I don't think anybody outside of the people that helped record it has heard. So, yeah, this is, this was exciting. Um, but I'm like, yeah, I kind of had some initial criticisms. But like I said, once I was listening on Motorola earbuds, which is Bluetooth to my Kindle. And with the Kindle, I listen on Quobuzz. On the phone, I listen both on Quobuzz and on Apple Music. But yeah, when I popped in those Motorola earbuds, man, yeah, I'm like, I get it now. I get this album. I really do. I was just blown away. Um, the compositions are absolutely amazing. It's a powerful flow to this album. I mean, I can listen from beginning to end. I'm not skipping any tracks. To me, there's not really any filler. Um, I don't know if I want to call it a concept album, but definitely all the songs belong together. And to me, it's a stronger album than Lotus Flower. Definitely stronger piece of work than the Minneapolis Sound in 2010. And don't get me wrong, I love 2010. I love that album. I also enjoy Lotus Flower a whole lot. Minneapolis Sound, I was a tad disappointed with. Um, I don't know, maybe I'll do an episode on that particular project at some point. But basically, to me, the whole idea of doing that album mostly on Pro Tools didn't 100% work for me as a listener. And I think Prince, obviously is above technology. Now, when he, utilized the Lindrum and the Oberheims back in the day, yeah, but when he has that sort of balance of, at least, even if it's recorded digitally or if it's on a state of the art mix board, the balance between that and human beings playing instruments works better than just that total dependence on using Pro Tools. I know it was kind of a dare, but anyway, I'm digressing. But getting back to Welcome to America, like I said, I enjoy it better. To me, you can kind of see the progression. Just saying with Lotus Flower, although 2010 is different, I think that was designed to be a more accessible album, maybe more radio friendly, that type of thing, not getting too deep into subjects. To me, it's sort of like a 21st century Diamonds and Pearls, where it's just accessible songs, not trying to get too conceptual, too deep. The sounds weren't overly experimental. Went back to the Lindrum on a lot of tracks. But yeah, this as far as taking things to the absolute next level, yeah, Welcome to America works. The musicianship is top notch. And granted, these are musicians that I'm not familiar with. You know, as far as Chris and was Tal, I'm not too familiar with, who they've done session work before playing with Prince on this album. But yeah, to me, it was a good fit. It Their musicianship brings a lot of character and a lot of quality to this album. And I think the detraction, or one of the detractions for a lot of people that have been negative about this, is because these are musicians we're not familiar with. We're, I think, just over the, 20 years prior, you've either had a Sheila E. come in every now and then, Lisa and Wendy might come back every blue moon, Sonny T, Michael B come back every, or they dig something out of the track or out of the vault that they've played on and he tweaked it. I know, because my initial reaction was, oh, this would have, yeah, if Larry Graham was playing bass on this, oh, this would have been to next level, or this would have been different. Or if Prince just did all the background vocals, and I think he would have lent a little bit more humor to that background vocal, and that would have made it a bit. And that was just my initial reaction. But again, kind of once I started off listening in the car, all those detractions from me went away. Because I'm like, I just started to get it. Because it's like, even though my destination was not fun, just kind of having that music on the way to that destination, just kind of, a little bit of peace before the crazy, before the 8-hour craziness. And then later that night, just plugging in the Motorola buds and Bluetooth into the Kindle, then it just really sank in. I mean, I really got to hear the bass. I really got to hear how the musicians interacted with one another. And between those two moments, that's when this album really clicked with me. So again, like I said, I kind of get, maybe that's the thing, if you kind of put off musically by it, give it another listen. I don't know if you have the deluxe edition or just the CD, or if you just listen on streaming, but just give it some time. If you're kind of not sure what's happening yet, just give it some time. I mean, like I said, this is a great album to me. And I'll kind of get later into about, the logistics of should it have come out in 2011, or should it have waited till now. We'll get into that later. But I'm going to talk about the deluxe edition itself. The packaging, it's consistent with the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. Again, it's got great liner notes, photographs. In this case, got some cool memorabilia. That seems to be kind of the thing now with a lot of these deluxe editions that are coming out, even with other artists. I know the George Harrison, All Things Must Pass, that box set, pictures and posters and little trinkets of things, I don't have a problem with it. I enjoy it. I'm not a kid or a teenager anymore, so I don't really see myself taking this stuff out and putting it up on the walls or anything. I'm just going to keep it in the set. I'm just going to listen to the music. I'm not going to put any posters up or, put the cards in the book. I'm just going to leave the packaging just as it is. Speaking of the physical media. The vinyl, it's in great condition. Didn't have any scratches. The dust wasn't overwhelming because it did come, both vinyl, it comes in anti-static sleeves. So I didn't have a problem that I had with the Truth album on vinyl, where I've got that skip. I still got to get some liquid cleaner and maybe try to get that out. But that didn't come in an anti-static sleeve. So that was part of the problem. And that's the chance you'll take with vinyl. Whether it's brand new, factory sealed, or if it's used. You're going to run into that problem with dust, providing, again, it didn't already come in an anti-static sleeve. But I recommend, even if it does, still clean your vinyl before you play it. And it will last you well over 100 plays that way. Let's see. Let's get anti-static sleeve. So, the vinyl itself, it sounds amazing. But in this case, unlike, again, the Truth album, your listening experience will be universally satisfying across all media platforms. Like I said, whether I was just listening on Apple Music, through my Apple earbuds, whether it's on Kindle with the Motorola earbuds, whether you're in your car, whether you're playing the CD, whether you're playing the vinyl, it sounds great beginning to end. And I especially love the vinyl. I was playing the vinyl while prepping for the show, and it just feels good. This is just a feel-good album. So I recommend, if you can, to get the deluxe edition, because that comes with the Blu-ray of the show at the Forum in Inglewood from 2011, and watched that with the wife last night, and I'm telling you, that show was just the bomb. As somebody that has seen Prince perform live a few times in my lifetime, that was amazing. This period I didn't know a lot about. Just distractions of life. I know I was working like 2 gigs at that time, so having access to the internet, whatever. I mean, I had access to the internet, but just didn't have the time to really, see what was happening via YouTube. Of course, Prince was controlling that anyway. So, I would read about things. I remember the kind of press conference about the Welcome to America tour. I didn't make it to my city, so I missed out on that. But I see what I have missed, and I love that show. I love the performances. I love the band. I love that lineup of the band. Again, like I said, this wasn't one I really got to witness a full concert, or, not even a bootleg CD or anything. Unlike, whether it was the Revolution, whether it was other earlier configurations of the NPG, where there were television performances or anything, around, especially by 2011, I don't think. So this was a very pleasant surprise. I enjoyed that Blu-ray a lot. We enjoyed it, definitely, and it was cool because it was, because my wife, she had never seen Prince perform live before. So, it would get to that point, and it's like, oh, show's over. And I'm like, nope, ain't over. Then there's the first encore. I was like, no, that's just the first encore. And then even I was kind of surprised. I'm like, okay, well, the house lights are up. This is it. Oh, no, he came back, one last song, and down the little elevator he went. But to me, that was sort of, that was like Musicology 2.0. That was sort of the the funky, erotic city, always in my hair, funk B-side extended version of musicology. And, I enjoy it. So again, I hope if you do buy it, or if you can, get the deluxe edition. And you have you got the vinyl, you have the CD, and you have that Blu-ray as well. And I recommend getting that. I'm hoping that one day we will see like a multi-disc box set of that tour, like just the audio version, and maybe a DVD set of the Welcome to America, from other countries, the Welcome to Canada and the Welcome to Australia. Maybe that could be like a 3 DVD set or something. You have another, or just keep the same, this one from the forum. Just keep that one, do one from Canada, and have a DVD from, Australia too, and sell that as a set. But getting back to the album itself, like the title track and Born to Die, love those tracks since the sort of advanced track releases of those. Check the Record. I remember hearing that snippet from the 60 Minutes piece that was done for the album. And that elevated my excitement for this album initially. And listening to it in its entirety, again, that's another favorite track. Hot Summer, that grew on me. It's grown on me since my initial reaction of it. You might have heard me mention it. I think it was last episode. But it's grown on me now. I like it a lot better than when I first heard it. To me, it might have slightly worked better if it had remained on the 2010 album. I know there was supposed to have been an expanded edition of that for the US. That's something else that never materialized. So I don't know if there was a different mix, or if there's different mixes between the two, that if they do release that one day, that might still be a part of it. But it doesn't hurt being on this album either. It does lyrically. It fits with the theme of the album also. So it's good. It's a nice, rocky little track. I like it a lot. Probably my main favorite track is 1,000 Light Years From Here. I like the musical arrangement. I like the vocals. And again, shout out to Shelby J and Liv and Elisa. Those three, amazing, powerful vocalists, not only together, but individually too. In fact, go out and support their work. Whatever albums are out, I'm going to seek out some physical media on their stuff. I remember the Elisa Ferrillo album from 1990 that Prince had produced. I'm going to have to find a copy of that. I know I had wanted it for the longest. And, it would kind of be at the record store. But then I was always there to get something else that I wanted immediately. And it was always on the back burner. But yeah, now I'm going to have to seek that CD out and whatever she's doing currently. Same for Shelby J and Liv Warfield as well. I did go on Apple Music and, since I got the monthly subscription, just downloaded the tracks or the albums and was listening to some of those. And then again, powerful work, powerful singers. Should be getting more attention, more limelight, more exposure. But yes, definitely check them out. And they also do a phenomenal job on this album. To me, this is their best contribution than anything on 2010, anything that's on Planet Earth. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of any other albums they might be part of. Probably Lotus Flower or Minneapolis Sound. Yeah, but their contributions to Welcome to America are the absolute best. And like I said, I'm glad this finally did get to see the light of day. And that is one of the reasons for them. It doesn't take away from this being a Prince album. I know they kind of co-lead on some vocals. They're more upfront than on previous contributions to other albums, but this absolutely works. This was well put together. Musical arrangements, vocal arrangements. This works well. So definitely check that out. And again, like I said, Thousand Light Years from Here. It's one of my main favorites. The lyrics remind me a lot of the song Saturn from Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. That was written by Stevie Wonder and Danny Cimbello. Yeah, just listen to Saturn. Listen to 1,000 Light Years from Here. You can kind of see the symmetry. And I wonder if that was the inspiration for that. So hopefully somebody on the inside would know, and we'll get the answer to that, we hope. Let's see. Just from the first notes of this particular song, When She Comes, this works absolute best on vinyl. When I was listening to it on vinyl, right away I was kind of given that feeling of kind of like the older Aretha Franklin 45s. Also Al Green's cover of For the Good Times. So When She Comes kind of gives me those vibes when I listen to the song. And I know some people were kind of, feeling like this was like Satisfied or On the Couch, or maybe it's a weaker version of those two songs, or maybe people don't like those two songs, so therefore they don't like this one. But I like this song better than Satisfied and On the Couch. I'm also hearing kind of D'Angelo feel, like he's one-upping D'Angelo on this song. And I'm guessing he might have changed the arrangement when he put it out on Hit and Run Phase 2, which was after D'Angelo's Black Messiah album had dropped. So I think instinctively that was a pretty smart move to switch that up. Because I think at the time it was like, yeah, okay, D'Angelo, I'm going to outdo you. And like I said, to me, I think it was effective on this. But with Black Messiah coming out, had he put out this version of it, then it would have looked like, some people saying like, oh, he's, just trying to copy D'Angelo or something. Who, I know there's a symmetry there, but instinctively it's like, I'm Prince and I don't copy nobody. So, I can get where instinctively he made that creative decision to do a different version. Let's see, 1010, Rin 1010. I love this track too. Both this and the title track, Welcome to America, has those, like, it always puts me in vibe of, yeah, kind of Gil Scott-Heron a little bit, but mainly, Parliament's Chocolate City album. That track, it has that kind of feel to it. Yes, and that's Prince taking, to me, that Graham Central Station influence and kind of taking it to a different level. And then One Day We'll All Be Free. That's another one I like. I like that one just as much as I like 1,000 Light Years from Here. It's a great peaceful track to close the album. Again, more food for thought with the lyrics. But it's an optimism. Like, one day we're all going to be free. None of this oppression stuff that's happening. And I'm going to wrap this up with some final thoughts. It is definitely a strong album. stronger than 2010 and Minneapolis Sound, and to me, a step or three above Lotus Flower. And while we'll never know the exact reason this album wasn't released, it did arrive at the right time, and just maybe on some instinctual cosmic level, and not as a conscious level. Yeah. Because I was trying to think back, like, well, what else was happening in 2011? And yeah, you also had the F Deluxe, the band formerly known as The Family. That album dropped, and that was a good, strong, solid, mature album. It was definitely the next level from the first Family album. Also, too, the original Time, they came back with an album. To me, it was a pretty good album. I know they probably had to switch up some concepts or some songs, or swap out some songs because they couldn't use the name The Time anymore. But it was still a pretty solid piece of work. I was also thinking, a couple of years prior, 2009, with Jesse Johnson's Verbal Penetration album. Another strong, solid. Now, if that would have been a template or competition for Prince, like, oh, Jesse put out that and because that had a lot of heavy issues, like Verbal Penetration, that album can still work and probably work better now with everything that's going on in the world, just this past year and a half now, going on 2. Maybe the idea was to beat that album a bit. But, you had other people sort of in the purple musical singularity at that time, within that 2-year span, coming out with really strong, solid material, and probably their best material since, the 80s heyday for all of them. Jesse, The Family, The Time. And definitely, this album would have hung in there with those 3. It would have been like the stamp, the final stamp. Like, yeah, see, I put Jesse on. Yeah, I put The Family on. Yeah, I put The Time on. Now check this out. Welcome to America. Bam! Again, solid, mature work. And finally, it's funky on a lot of tracks. But I think the album works best, or it works best as an album. It's an album you vibe to. Again, either whether you're driving or just kind of just chilling out at the house. And that's just in order to really reflect on the lyrics. Like I said, there's a lot of funky dance grooves. But to me, lyrically, these were a lot of powerful statements. They weren't covered in a lot of metaphor, a lot of imagery. To me, a lot of them were straight and to the point. It wasn't like going in some avant-garde direction or some, former purple mysticism, with the lyrics. Just very powerful. And I think, yeah, you need to kind of absorb it and digest it. And again, music, it's a powerful healing tool. And no, this is not Purple Rain. No, it's not Parade. No, it's not Diamonds and Pearls. To me, the statements are more accessible than the ones on the Rainbow Children. And I do believe that this was something, like I said, beyond our human comprehension. I think this was an album that was meant to come out at this time. It's a message, to, again, what was, Prince, love for one another. Yes, definitely, the brother was about not forgetting where he came from and sort of being that voice and elder statement about ownership, freedom, defining who you are, and fighting for freedom. So I think definitely listen to it, and listen to it with an open mind for a lot of people that are sort of either hating or detracting on it. But to me, this is a very solid piece of work. It's a great album. I recommend you go get it. Like I said, even if you just get the vinyl or just the CD, do that. But by all means, if you can, definitely get the deluxe edition and cop that Blu-ray and watch that concert. And if you've never seen them before live, you will know why we all, talk so highly of each and every concert we've had the fortune to attend over the many years of his career. So that is Welcome to America. What's most important is, what do you think about the album? Did you get it? What did you think about it? If you don't have it yet, if you were kind of on the fence because it's not a classic 80s album or a period you might not be familiar with or enjoy it as much, does this help change your thoughts about wanting to go get it and copping that? Or were you just thinking about getting just the vinyl or the CD, but now you want to get that Blu-ray and kind of get a few more ducats and go and get that deluxe for the Blu-ray? Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And before we end the show, I'm going to mention that next week is going to be episode 100. I have absolutely no clue what to do. Is it going to be a regular episode? Don't have any time to wrangle any special guests. I don't know. I might just have to do some voices or something and pretend like we have guests. I don't know. Who knows? What Prince news will come out before I record 100 to make it worthwhile. But either way, it's going to be episode 100. Very special landmark because, I don't know, wasn't sure if I was going to, didn't know this was going to take so well and last so long. But it's here, and after episode 100, I am going to take an extended break from this show to prepare for season 3. So season 3 will probably debut, if not, say, second to last week in September. It'll probably be the last week in September. Like I said, kind of want to change some things around, change some ideas, change some graphics, change some merchandise. Also kind of talk to some folks and see how we can get some guests on the show or co-host every now and then. If not every week, who knows? But we will see. As Jimmy Jam would say, that's something that we've given a lot of thought to, and when I've come to a decision, we'll let you know. So, but other than that, thank you for tuning in. So take care of yourselves. We don't know what's going on with this planet, but hey, take care of yourselves. Yes, think about keeping yourself safe, but also keep other people safe as well. Keep having love for one another. Create your day and then create your life. And as always, keep it purple and on the one.